Alright, we're going to finish off this lesson by covering this concept of what's called rationalizing the denominator again. But notice that the denominator is not a single term, it's a binomial. And so again, we're not allowed to have square roots in the denominator, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this process called conjugation. Now, we can still multiply by the number 1. So what we're going to do is notice that this is root x minus 2. What we're going to do is we're going to multiply the denominator by what looks like root x plus 2. And if you remember from previous math courses, if you multiply root x minus 2 times root x plus 2, it looks very, very similar to what looks like a plus b times a minus b. If you multiply a plus b times a minus b, all you do is you end up squaring, or you got the difference of squares. Okay, so I'm going to multiply numerator and denominator by root x plus 2. Now, in the numerator, this becomes 3 times root x plus 2, and yes, you can distribute that, but I'm just going to choose not to. Instead, I'm going to focus on the denominator. So root x minus 2 times root x plus 2, well, this just becomes a squared minus b squared. Well, a squared, that's root x times root x, that's just the number x. And then negative 2 times positive 2, that's just minus 4. And notice the radical is gone. Okay, so the last couple of examples, if you take a look, 2 plus root 2, 3 root 5 minus 4 is the denominator. I'm going to multiply by the conjugate. This is going to be 3 root 5 plus 4, right? Notice that this is a minus. 3 root 5 plus 4. 2 plus root 2 times 3 root 5 plus 4. I'm going to take some time out to distribute that. 2 plus root 2, 3 root 5 plus 4. And again, I apologize for my penmanship. But the big idea is this becomes a squared minus b squared. So this is going to be 3 root 5 times 3 root 5. That's going to be 9 times root 5 times root 5. There's a pair of 5s. So that's going to be 9 times 5, which is 45. And then negative 4 times positive 4, that's going to be negative 16. So at least in the denominator, we have 45 minus 16. I believe that's 29. The numerator, on the other hand, that's going to take a little time. So we're going to distribute, right? First terms, outside terms, inside terms, and last terms. So first term is going to be 2 times 3 root 5. Well, that's going to be 6 root 5. The outside terms, 2 times 4 is just positive 8. Inside terms, I've got a root 2 and a 3 root 5. Well, that's going to be a positive 3 root 10. And then a root 2 times a positive 4, that's going to be 4 root 2. Is there anything we can group together? The answer is nope. So your final answer looks kind of ugly. But we're done. Again, before we finish, just make sure, are there any like radicals we can add or subtract? Okay, and if we can't, can we simplify them so that we could potentially add or subtract them? Well, in this case, the answer is no. Okay, so that concludes Chapter 5, Section 2.